hello, hello. Happy June. It's Chris Ann here with the Yard Card Association. I wanted to pop in real quick because it's been a long time since I've been here and I've missed you all. Why has it been a long time? Well, that's a great question. It's because May is by far always the busiest month of the year. To heck with Christmas and December, it's May for me. It's May for most yard card, yard greeting, lawn greeting, yard display business owners. It's May. Sometimes it's into June. So my graduation season has just wrapped up. I'm in Texas and there's still a few parties going on, but really everybody's pretty much done and on vacation and exhausted. I do happen to know in other areas of the country, it is rocking. If you're over in California or you're over in Virginia, and I know some other places, graduation is still hopping, and between the graduations, the graduation parties, you're still rocking and rolling. But over here and in many other places of the country, the wave has calmed down and we are able to take a breath, and that's where I'm at. This happens every year just like this. So what are we? Nonstop. And then that last 2 weekends after graduation, it calms down. You can take a breath. And then when I say calms down, it's like that next week is like, there'll be a few orders like regular birthday and anniversary and babies and all that, but not like the intensity of graduation. So I'm able to come up for air now, and I wanted to check on you. One thing is, yesterday I got to meet with our Yard Card Association members. We have a meeting every single month, and I have to tell you, it is so wonderful. I know we all just feel energized and we get to connect, and it's great to be able to do that. One of my questions that we had, we went around and everybody got to talk about their experience for May and what happened. We talked about goals, whether they met their goals or not, and any interesting experiences, the number of orders that they had. But the one question I have for everybody was, what is your big takeaway? And I want to ask you that. If you have calmed down from graduation, from May, it doesn't just have to be graduation. If you calm down now and you can take a breath, what is your takeaway? What is something that you've learned? What's a lesson? And it could be something that you're like, oh, that went really well. I want to duplicate that in the future. So it doesn't necessarily, a takeaway doesn't necessarily mean something negative. It can be something positive. So take a few minutes. One of the best things you can do after a really busy time is just take a few minutes, take 30 minutes or so, and write down the experience. These will be great notes for you to learn from. You'll be able to pull it apart and dissect it and decide, hey, this worked really well, or here's what you can improve on. This is how you grow your business to be even better for the next time it gets super busy. The one primary takeaway I see every year, every time it's busy, is about being more prepared and more organized. It is something that we can all relate to. And it's not just for graduation season. This is for any time we get super, super busy. And that could just be 1 week that we're like, oh my gosh, I've got to do something to calm things down, because you can be super busy and have things organized. And I got to tell you, you're like, oh, I'm busy, but I'm not losing my mind. There's a difference. And I have done it a lot of different ways. And I have to say this year was outstanding. I cannot believe how well we operated because of how much effort I put on the front end to, one, already having my boundaries ready, and two, having the right inventory, and three, knowing when to say no. I did not go and buy more inventory because I either, one, hoped to get more orders, or two, was getting more orders. There's a point when you just have to set the boundaries and not buy random inventory just because that one customer wants something in lime green and orange. It's about using what you have. If you need to add some into it, that's fine, but being mindful and aware of what you're doing. So anyway, so this time around, I have to say, my small but mighty team, I said, wow, we could have handled more. Everything was so organized and calm. I can't believe I'm even saying that, and especially compared to our pandemic year, because we've never been so chaotic as we were during the pandemic, right? So we also talked about and celebrated how long people have been in business, because right now we have so many newbies that we have a lot of our members that are celebrating or just celebrated or about to celebrate their 1 year anniversary. And this is a big deal, you all, because there's been so many companies start up. I see a lot of people now starting to sell their inventory and close their business because, one, they're able to go back to what their regular income was. And two, this is just a lot of time and energy, and it's very laborious. And it is hard on our family lives. Let me just say that my kids are now 22 and about to be 20. And if that's one takeaway I have to share with everybody here, it would be, this is harder on your family than you will realize until after you've done this for a little while. And there's no getting that back. And even if you've got your family involved in it, it's a lot different doing work with a family versus family time. And yes, there's a time and a place that it's awesome, everybody chips in, but over a long period of time, it takes a toll. And if you've got little ones, it's really fun and exciting to them. But one of my members shared that boxes arrived, a shipment arrived, and their 4-year-old, 4 years old, asked if it was toys for him or if it was signs. And that may seem like a funny little chuckle, but it's also like, okay, what does that say when a 4-year-old knows how intense and how deeply involved, that so much is coming in, that, a lot of the life is about signs in the business. But what I do also love is seeing our members, and I'm talking like new members, new to the business, where, they've done this for a year, maybe even less, maybe a little more, and they recognize their boundaries, and they have a set number of orders they will take. And an order means whether you're setting up signs or whether you're taking down signs, and they know what their max is. And when you know your number, your boundaries are much easier to go, okay, I can do X, Y, Z. And it's a lot more calming. So I wanted to pass that along, because if you're in the middle of the craziness, you're going to just have to calm down from that, right? You got to get through it. But once you have that time to come up for air, which is what I'm assuming you're now here on social media, then it's time. Please do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, and look. Take that time, sit down, take a yellow notepad. I don't actually recommend doing it on your phone because our phones are so distracting. And side note, do you know what these really are? These are, sorry, that's my son. These are addiction boxes. You know what I mean by that? Yeah, you know exactly what I mean by that. So it's actually better if you just take out a pen and paper and write out what your experience was. This is your homework assignment, okay, y'all? If you are interested in doing something to help your business in the future, here's your homework assignment. Take out your pen and paper. Just sit down, quiet. This is without kids, without the TV, just in solitude. Write down what your experiences were. And think about, you need to make sure you can list at least 3 wins, because a lot of times we get down on ourselves and we only look at the negative. And so we need to make sure we count our wins. And I'm telling you, it can be the smallest little point, but come up with at least 3 wins. Look at what your goal was, and if you met your goal, look at your numbers. Look at whether you even set a goal. If you did not set a goal, that's something to take point to do in the future. We should always be setting our goals, right? And then look at those takeaways. You're going to have one overall takeaway. And the common theme with my Yard Card Association members was about being organized and being more prepared like that. And so that might be yours, but you might have others. But you can look at your main one and then look at any of the other takeaways you have. Because when you assess and review, you will be able to then take that and move forward and grow your business. So I want to thank everybody for being here. If you're watching this live or on the replay, thank you all so much. I'm going to look in the comments now. I'm on Facebook Live, but you also might be watching this over on YouTube. I'm going to take a look at the comments in Facebook Live and see if there's anything I should answer. Let's see. Belinda, hi, Miss Belinda. It's nice to see you. What's the next big thing for which to get ready? Well, Belinda, a lot of people will tell you Father's Day. I am going to be the unpopular person right now and tell you I do not think anybody should be spending money on Father's Day. Use what you have. If you don't have something that says Father's Day, do not spend a penny on it. All of my vendor friends are probably going to want to stick pins in me like a voodoo doll right now. However, it's a one-day holiday. And a lot of people, now that the pandemic is calming down, hopefully permanently, people are also going out. They're not necessarily spending money on yard signs. And you hopefully have inventory. If you've got letters in your inventory, you can spell out World's Greatest Dad, Number One Dad, Happy Father's Day. You have stars. You might have beer mugs. You may or may not have trophies. If you absolutely feel the urge to spend money, buy something that is versatile, that you can use, like trophies, Number One Dad, okay, stuff that you could use for birthdays. But that's going to be about it. I am a fan of using stars, and you can use some balloons, and now the most popular trend is to use streamers. So use what you have. You can use hearts. I have done hearts that spell out Happy Father's Day, World's Greatest Dad, we love you, Dad. I use that one for both Mother's Day and Father's Day. The only difference is Mom, 3 letters, or Dad, 3 letters. You put some hearts in it, use some smiley faces or emojis, whatever you have. Work with that. I also don't think it's something to really go spend a lot of time focusing on. If you can reach out to your audience, which I hope you can, ask them. If you get a feel for it, then you're going to generate some engagement and take some orders. But I think now is the time to focus again on birthdays, anniversaries. The summertime is a big wedding month. So if you have wedding inventory, you can work on weddings, which is also going to really include bridal showers. But that also means there's a bunch of anniversaries. So it's an anniversary time period. You can use we love you or I love you. I don't want anybody to go out and start purchasing a bunch of things right now to hopefully get that one occasion. If you, again, ask your audience, and if you see a trend for anniversaries and you don't have anything that says happy anniversary, buy something small. Don't go spend a few $100s. And let's see, besides that, I really think it's going to be birthdays, anniversaries, and new babies. Right now, the trend is to use salon letters or large theme signs to say welcome baby or something like that. I am a storkie, and that means I've done stork yard signs for 21 years. And I will tell you, there is a huge market for babies. And so you can decide how you want to do it. And you know what, maybe we'll have a whole conversation about babies another time if anybody's interested. Let's see. Don't buy so much for one thing. Use what you have. Yes, exactly. Well, Linda, exactly. That's your takeaway. You're already ahead of the game. You already know that. And then you like the way I'm straight up and straight talk. Well, you know, it's sort of how I am. I've dialed myself down. I never mean to offend anybody. There's a point though where I've just seen a lot, I've experienced a lot, I've spent a lot of money, learned from my lessons, but also my successes. Because everything has a lesson. It's just a matter of, sometimes it's a dismal failure, sometimes it's a huge win. So with so much knowledge out there right now and people giving advice, I worry about, everybody's got great intentions, period. Everybody's got great intentions. I fully believe that. It's a matter of that experience and not being short-sighted with it. And we've never had so many vendors, and it is the vendor's job to make their business more successful, right? Just like we want our business to be more successful. And they should be pulling out all the stops. It's a matter of each one of us deciding what's best for our family and our business. And if somebody's not turning a profit yet because all they're doing is buying inventory, it's time to draw a line in the sand. And I am going to be hardcore on this and do an assessment on your life and your business. It is not all about buying more inventory. If this is your hobby and you don't want to make a profit, go for it. If you want to actually earn a little bit of income or a lot of income, work with what you have and stop spending money on inventory. If you're brand new watching this, you're in a different situation because you don't have any inventory. And that's a different conversation that we can have. And I'm happy to help anybody over. If you are not a member of the Yard Card Association, I highly recommend it. We just have a phenomenal group of people. Everybody's really professional and serious about their business growth and at different stages of their lives. Let me just say, we have people in the industry nowadays. I know that there's some teens doing this. I hate to say this, I'm not counting the teens because that could change and they're in school and you don't know what's going to happen. So at that point, to be perfectly frank with you, I feel like it's the parents also working with that. But anyway, there's people from probably their 30s up until their 70s doing this business. I've got a nice mixture in our Yard Card Association members, and I love it. We've got some that are, probably early 30s, and they've got little ones. And I started when I was 31. I just had my 31st birthday. So I totally get it, had little bitty ones in the house, grew up in that, and then, you've got our 40s crowd and our 50s crowd and our 60s crowd. We're all at different stages. And we have a lot of different experiences. And so it's great when I see bonding with, oh my gosh, I have a 2 and a 4-year-old also. And then I have those that's like, man, I'm just trying to get these kids to college. And then we have the ones that's, oh yeah, been there, done that. My kids are grown adults and I have grandkids now. So it's wonderful to get also not just the business experiences that we can share, but also the life experiences. Because what was so important at 35 years old, we realize when we're older, that's not important. And when life happens and family happens, it's kind of good to be able to balance that out and share that wisdom with people. So anyway, this time officially, I will finish up. Let's see, Sandy. Hey, Sandy, I just saw your comment. I agree. I don't purchase for Mother's Day or Father's Day. This is just a new trend. I will just be really frank with everybody. This wasn't something that happened. 2020 was just a different year. And so I do suspect now this will be the trend, at least for a little while. But guess what? If you already have any Father's Day inventory, don't go buy more. Use what you have. So anyway, I hope that helps. Sandy, thank you for being here. Melinda, thank you for being here. I know there's other people here that just haven't commented. I'm so grateful for you all to be here. And be on the lookout. I'm still working on the podcast, the Yard Card School podcast. I put that on pause because it got so busy. And between, my local business was super busy. I was super blessed. And then I have one of my kids that came home from college. And so I put my mom hat, I'm doing this like I have a hat on. I put my mom hat back on. And back, even a few years ago, that would have been like, oh, I have to juggle. Now I know that I'm older and my kids are out of the house, how much I love getting to put my mom hat back on. And if you would have told me that 5 or 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, that I would absolutely just want to soak all that up, I would have been like, you're crazy. I can't wait for the break. I now recognize that. So there's been a lot, and we're always juggling, regardless of how old the kids are, or the husband, or the whatever kind of spouse, or your parents. You might be taking care of your parents. We're all at different stages. So the podcast is still in the works, but I promise you we're going to get that out. And if you've got any suggestions or questions about that, topics, let me know. We're going to we're working on whether we're going to have maybe some surprise guests on the podcast. So let's see. Oh, hey, Miss Carrie, no worries. I know you missed the meeting. We missed you too. But that's okay, because you are one of our founding members, and I love you, and I'm so grateful to have you just always supporting us, and us getting to support you. Sandy, you have college girls and an 8-year-old. Well, you're at two different spectrums, and so you can appreciate the 8-year-old more now, probably, because it's just a little bit different, because you have that age difference. So anyway, thank you all so much for being here. Have a wonderful day. And for my members that are watching this, we are having market days over in our private Facebook group, and we are we're experimenting, and we're having our own little buy and sell days where you can post a video or your photos, and we're gonna sell some of our inventory. It's like this buy and sell groups, except we're not gonna get into all that. We just have our own little private membership for that. And you can see behind me some of the things I need to sell, brand spanking new stuff. And that's the other tip I'll give everybody, is if you've got something that you didn't use, go ahead and bless somebody else for them to get to have it. So anyway, everybody have an awesome day, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Cheers.